Welcome to Extension Connection on Super Talk 1270. Thoughtful information and discussion with experts from both Burley and Morton County Extension Service offices. Extension Connection provides advice on family nutrition, issues in agriculture, lawn and garden, community leadership, flood recovery, homeowner concerns, and so much more. Live from the Super Talk 1270 News Studio, this is Extension Connection.
Welcome back to the Extension Connection. This is Jackie Buckley, and the Morton County staff is with you here today. And we have Carla Mickle, 4-H Youth Agent, Vanessa Hoynes, Family Consumer Science, and Ashley Stegman, Agent in Training. And so we'll kind of just briefly recap what everybody's going to talk about, and then we'll go ahead and get started. So Carla, how about you?
I have a program coming up in February, but registration is open now for Citizenship in Action. It's a statewide 4-H event. I also have an update on Hippology and the Hippology workouts that will start for 4-H here coming up very soon. And also I'm going to talk a little bit about recipes.
Recipes?
Recipes, yes.
What recipes would you be talking about?
Oh, it's all good stuff.
Well, I'm going to be talking about the holidays, how to save money. How to save money, how to save taxes. And we're also going to be talking about how to stay safe, a new program that's going to be coming up after the first of the year on falls prevention for our older folks in the community.
And I'm going to be talking about some of those holiday gifts for your garden friends. Maybe some of you are gardeners and you think you need some new gift ideas for your fellow gardeners. And then also just talking about our Christmas cactuses, and maybe if I have time, talk about some of those bulbs that we are storing.
Okay, thank you, everybody. I'm going to visit with you just briefly, I guess, this morning, or talk about poinsettias. I think Ashley said she's going to talk about the Christmas cactus, so I'll talk about poinsettia, or is it poinsettia? It's however you prefer to pronounce it. The poinsettia plant is a native of Mexico. It is found in the wild in the deciduous tropical forest at moderate elevations down through the entire Pacific coast to Mexico and Guatemala. It also is found in the interior in the hot seasonally dry forests in Mexico and Costa Rica as well. The Aztecs used the plant to produce red dye when the plant was more mature and flowering, and they used it at that time. Today, it is known in Mexico, and I can't pronounce it, Flor de Noche Buena, meaning Christmas Eve flower. I don't speak Spanish, so in Spain, Puerto Rico, Guatemala, and other Central American countries, it's also known as another word meaning the Easter flower. And then in Turkey, it has another name, and so it's used worldwide, this plant, as a Christmas flower. The plant's association with Christmas began in the 16th century in Mexico, where legend tells of a girl who was too poor to provide a gift for the celebration of Jesus' birthday and was inspired by an angel to gather weeds from the roadside and place them in front of the church altar. Crimson blossoms sprouted from the weeds and became beautiful poinsettias. From the 17th century, Franciscan friars in Mexico included the plants in their Christmas celebrations. The star-shaped leaf pattern is said to symbolize the Star of Bethlehem, and the red color represents the blood sacrifice through the crucifixion of Jesus. Poinsettias are popular Christmas decorations in homes, churches, offices, elsewhere in North America. They are available, of course, in grocery stores, big box stores, wherever. And then December 12th is National Poinsettia Day. And also, for those of you that are botanists or flower people, the scientific name of poinsettia is Euphorbia, which is also the same name as leafy spurge. So in a way, they're kind of related. And then we need to remember that the red leaves of the plant, the red of the plant is actually leaves that have changed color. That is not the true flower of the plant. The true flower, just like leafy spurge, is those tiny little yellow things that are in the center of the plant. And so the leaves of the plant are turn red after they've sustained about 6 weeks of 16-hour darkness at in the evening. And so even if you disrupt, if you have them in a dark closet, and if you open that closet, they say that even that disruption of getting light in there may cause a later bloom date or a later coloring of the leaves. And so poinsettias are very touchy when it comes to that. Of course, and now they come in more than just red.
We
Pink.
saw purple ones the other day. They were beautiful.
Yeah. And so, with genetic engineering, they've gotten them into many different colors. Red is the most popular. There's pink, white. I've seen yellow, and like you said, purple
I've seen blue,
and blue.
even with glitter on. Can't
Yes.
forget the glitter. Those people that love that glitter around their
Yep.
homes.
And the plant itself is very sensitive to extreme chilling or hot air currents. If you must take your poinsettia outside, place the plant in a plastic bag, inflate the bag by blowing air into it. Warm air will protect your plant as it is carried from the car to the house or the house to the car, however you're doing it. Poinsettias prefer bright light and should be placed in a sunny window. Room temperatures of 70 degrees Fahrenheit during the day and 55 to 65 at night is ideal for them. Water the plant thoroughly when the soil surface is dry to the touch. Add enough water each time so that the water runs out the drain holes to the pot. Place the drainage dish under the pot to avoid damage to your furniture, of course. If the pot is enclosed in a foil wrapper, you should poke holes in that foil wrapper. After the blooms have faded and fallen off, the plant can be discarded or kept to bloom for another Christmas. And that's the challenge that some people try to do. If you wish to keep the poinsettia, cut the plant back to a height of 4 to 6 inches and water sparingly. Make sure that at least 3 leaf nodes or buds are left on each stem. Active growth will usually resume in late spring. During the summer months, the plant can be planted outside in a sunny, warm location and kept indoors in an area of bright light. Don't move the poinsettia outside until the night temperatures are above 60 degrees. And so they don't like cool evenings. And you know what? We get those sometimes in July, so that's not good for poinsettias. Poinsettias flower naturally in response to short day length. That means that they must have at least 14 to 16 hours of uninterrupted darkness each day beginning about October 1 and for about 6 weeks. And so if you have any other questions about poinsettias, and I think that also you want to keep them away from pets and small children because they can be slightly poisonous to young people and also old people, and so and our senior citizens. So take care to how you take care of your poinsettias. Jim is cueing us that we need to go for a break, and we'll be back after we hear from our commercial sponsors.
Right now it's 10.
Get the app called Radio Pup for your iPhone and take us everywhere you go. Bismarck and Mandan's own Super Talk 1270.
Welcome back to this Extension Connection, and the Morton County staff is here today. We are live in the studio, so if you have any questions that you would like to talk to us about or what we are talking about, our number here is 663-1270, and if not, you can call our office at 667-3340. Ashley and I are going to leave the studio early. We have a crop improvement meeting because the district meeting is going to start at 1 o'clock today. And so I'm going to turn it over to Ashley so that she can talk about the Christmas cactus.
All right, thanks, Jackie. Just touching shortly on the Christmas cactus, similar to the poinsettia, it responds to the length of night. It prefers those short days, so long night. More darkness is better. A cooler temperature needs 14 hours of darkness to bloom. And like Jackie had said, don't interrupt, even if you have it in a dark closet, and open the door just to check on it. You may hinder its blooming. And also, if you're wondering why you're wanting some more floral production, they are a little slower. They take about 6 to 8 weeks of short days for floral production. So if you want some extra floral production on your cactus right before Christmas, you might not see it until Valentine's Day, but that might be a nice treat also. So the next thing I'm just going to discuss is holiday gifts for our gardeners. A lot of our gardeners, you have fellow gardeners out there, and maybe your neighbor is one of those green thumbs that you want to get them something nice for the holidays, and have a few tips or ideas of what those gardeners really look for or could use during the next growing season. Gardening is America's #1 hobby. That's something interesting I did not know, and you can bring a lot of smiles to others by giving gardening presents. One that is very familiar to me is amaryllis. My grandmother, I think, got one every single year. My mom, that was just her gift to her mother, and so that was a holiday tradition. And when picking the amaryllis, you want to make sure that you're picking one that has a large bulb, and that will give you the best results. Now, you can find these in many stores. Your local groceries, your big box stores, and even some of your nurseries. But another idea, if you're computer savvy, is to go online and look up some different varieties for those amaryllis. Just like poinsettias, they do come in many different variety of flowers and colors and different bulb sizes. Again, the bigger the bulb, the better the results. A quality bulb company can offer extra large bulbs that will grow not one but two flower stalks, so you're getting a little bit more for your money, which is nice. This will greatly prolong the bloom period, and the bulb will be more likely to bloom in future years. Always remember, the bigger the bulb, the better. Another nice plant that is given often as a holiday gift is a Norfolk Island pine. Now, I talked shortly about those last, I guess it would have been 2 weeks ago. For some of you that don't know, those are your miniature Christmas trees, and they thrive indoors. They are not hardy for the outdoors, so don't try to go plant them outdoors because they will not survive. But they are nice to put in a attractive pot, and you can even find some small ornaments, or if you have ornaments that the kids make and maybe put on that small pine and give to Grandpa and Grandma, that would be a nice holiday gift. And another idea is a lightweight garden hose. They're getting very popular, and the easier to coil, the better, and less storage, and it's easier to store them, and you could have less breakage to some of those hoses. It's always good to have a good pruning tool. It's always appreciated. A pocket knife is a nice, handy gift. And it's also a very popular gift is a watering can in the shape of a mouse. Not for me. I am not a fan of the mice, again, so we don't do mice in my household. A new
cat in the shape of a cat.
You know, I would be okay with that, but my husband, he's not a fan of cats either. So cat and mice, stay away from my home. The new shovel, that's always nice to have. Sometimes you break that old shovel that you've been using for the last couple of years, so sometimes just getting a new shovel or fork or even a hoe would be a great gift to give. And then one thing that I know I could benefit, and I hope my husband's listening to this, is garden gloves. It seems like every year I break through all my garden gloves, and I could really use a nice pair, hint, hint. And it's very good. Those gloves you can find in many different colors and different light or a lightweight or a heavyweight, and there are some that are even as tough as leather. I'm thinking that's maybe the way to go. I hope my husband hears that. Again, hand scrubbing lotion. When we're working in the garden, we often dry out our hands, and sometimes they get really rough. And so, just remembering to use a nice scrubbing lotion that can moisturize your hands. The avid gardener would love a garden cart, and I would love one also. So another great holiday gift idea that can help you move your plants around and some of your tools. If your tool shed or your garage isn't near your garden, or if you're at a community plot, maybe having a nice garden cart would be a benefit to you. We all need to eat those vegetables and fruits that come from our garden. So what about a juicing machine? That's something that I do have to admit. When my husband bought a juicing machine, I thought we won't get much use out of that, but it comes in very helpful, and it also is great for those healthy diets that you want to go on. Another idea is a herb drying rack. Scissors that mince the herbs or pickling corks are also thoughtful gifts. And a dehydrator can convert your garden produce into nutritious snacks. Is that correct, Vanessa?
That would be right. Yeah.
Yes. So I know.
A good way to use up some of those things if you can't eat it while it's fresh and you don't want to preserve it another way. That's a good way to keep it for later.
Yes, I know. I used my dehydrator quite a bit this fall with all those extra apples that were on the tree.
And if you want to use it during the fall, you can use it to make jerky for hunting season.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I'm sure that will be coming this year yet at our household. Another gift idea is a thermometer to take some soil temps and to know when is the right time to start planting. And another good old gift for grandpa or dad, a rain gauge. In our family, that was another tradition. It seemed like the uncles always had to get a new rain gauge so they could tell how much rain they got.
There's always something new and better when it comes to rain gauges.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. And at our household, it was whether it was the John Deere rain gauge or the Farmall rain gauge. So,
Okay, we do not talk green. Okay.
sorry, Carla, but, we always had those differing parts in our family also. A few other ideas for your gardener are bird feeders. I know we can get some beautiful birds here in the spring and to start your bird watching early. And even some gnomes or other garden statues. They may be risky gifts, but sometimes they bring the biggest smiles to us. And just remember to include the gift receipts with some of those, because I don't know if everybody wants gnomes in their garden, but if you do, there you go.
You could get a little bison statue for your garden.
There you go. I bet we could have some bison running through our garden. That would be great.
Normally that wouldn't be a good thing, but
As long as they're small figurines, I think we'll be okay. And again, also remember that when all else fails, a gift certificate to your local garden center or gardening catalog is a great way to go, and it'll put a smile on your friend's face, or remember your wife even, or your mother or your grandmother, and even some of the men out that do a lot of gardening too. These are great gifts for the gardeners, any age or gender.
And I subscribe to lots of different gardening magazines, and there's lots of books out there. And so if you have somebody that is into something like that, that would be a great gift as well.
Yes.
And I was also thinking about, if they don't want to spend any money, they could promise their time and energy and perhaps give a coupon for that first weeding in the spring and cleaning out of the garden.
That would be a good idea. That would be a
Yeah.
very good idea. Well, those are some tips on holiday gifts, and I believe we are going to be heading into a break, and we'll be back with you right after a commercial from our sponsors.
Right now it's 10.
Get the traffic and weather information you need anytime on Super Talk 1270 and online at supertalk1270.com.
Welcome back to the Extension Connection. This is Carla, 4-H youth agent out of Morton County, and the Morton County staff is here today, minus a couple. They just left. They had another event, so Vanessa and I here are wrapping up the rest of the show. Couple of things in the land of 4-H. We have some events coming up. Hippology workouts start Monday, December 8th at the Morton County Courthouse. And for those of you asking what hippology is, it's actually a study of horses and anything equine, from the skeletal system to what you feed your horse to what kind of pens you should put it in and the bedding and absolutely everything to do with horses. They are going to study, and they have different contests here coming up in January, February, and March. And it's a fun group. It's a small group right now, but if you're interested in joining, you can contact our office. Right now we have, I think, 8 Total.
And you do not have to have a horse in order to
No,
participate in this. It
exactly.
can be just a youth who's really interested in horses and wants to learn more about them, but you don't have to own one.
Right, exactly. But if you're interested in hippology workouts and joining that team, they travel around North Dakota from Fargo all the way to Beulah and then down to Oaks are kind of our stretch of where our contests are. We are meeting Monday night at 6 o'clock. For those that are 8 to 10 and 11 and older, then we'll be working out at 7 o'clock. And if you'd like more information, you can call our office at 667-3340. And this is just the beginning, really, of a lot of things going on this winter. Of course, when we start talking hippology workouts, livestock judging is coming up, crop judging, and another one that I work with is Morton County 4-H shooting sports. And so our archery team is going to start working out here coming up on January 5th. I just talked to Kurt Pearson over at Nishu Bowman, and he's all set and they're ready for us again this year. I'm very excited. And we're going to start again January 5th at 6 p.m. down at Nishu Bowman. Our 8 to 12-year-olds will go at 6 o'clock, and then 13 and older will join us at 7, and they'll run for an hour, and we'll do archery workouts. And we have archery equipment. If you are new to the sport, you can certainly join us. We have bows that you can use at our workouts. We can't let you take them home, of course, but we'll have them there that you can try out and come on down and visit us, and we can visit about Morton County 4-H shooting sports. It is the fastest growing project for 4-H in the state of North Dakota is anything shooting sports.
And so if I'm interested, would it be best for me to call and register kind of ahead of time and then come to Nishu?
Yes. If you could call the office at 667-3340 and you want to visit with me, Carla, and I can send you ahead of time some paperwork. We have some waivers of liability and some acknowledgments that we need you to sign. And then, of course, if you're new to the 4-H program, in order to be covered underneath our 4-H insurance, we need you to also become a 4-H member, which doesn't mean you have to go to all the club meetings throughout the year. But if you're dedicated to like shooting sports, for instance, then we have you in the system that we can provide you with other information, other great activities going on in the world of 4-H.
Well, and really the once a week meeting of the archery folks really becomes their meeting.
It does, yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And we did, this year we did elect officers. So we do have a group that manages, what events we participate in and helps out with different things that are all about archery and shooting sports. So very excited for that group to start as well.
Yeah, so it's kind of a way to step into the 4-H program.
Exactly. I've had a few phone calls already and people looking forward to when our workouts are starting. So looking forward to another really great season. And this past year, we had a national team go from Morton County, and they placed 11th in the nation. So they did really well. And we have a great group of instructors. So again, if you're interested, please don't hesitate to call. Ask any question you would like about the shooting sports program or 4-H, 667-3340. Let's see. I have Citizenship in Action event, and this information just came out last week. I'm very excited to talk about the 7th annual Citizenship in Action event. And of course, with a legislative year, this is one of those years we get to go to the Capitol as part of this event as well. It is Sunday and Monday, February 15th and 16th, and it's during the Martin Luther King holiday. And so you're wondering, is the Capitol open on the 16th? And yes, it is. The legislators will be in session on that Monday, a holiday. And we will go down and put up some displays, talk about 4-H with our legislators. The kids will have an opportunity to sit in on some hearings and other fun stuff that they get to do at the Capitol.
And I know they enjoy when they get a chance to sit with one of their legislators and sometimes get a chance to help vote.
Yes, absolutely. That's always fun. And just to understand and be down there, it's just a different outlook on our system here in our government in North Dakota. So. Any youth, it's open for grade 7 to 12 who are interested in citizenship and the political process. There is information that I have here to contact your local legislator. So if you want to set it up that you want to sit with your local legislator, you can do that beforehand. And I've got some information on, hints on what to say and how to ask. There is also different breakout sessions that they'll have, mini sessions. Short and sweet, the Tootsie Roll speech. They're going to be talking about public speaking abilities. Speak up, learn about being an upstander and how you can be one at home, at school, and in public. The Futures game, it's an interactive community-based scenario game. We're going to talk about parliamentary procedure. And then Operation Military Kids Boot Camp. We're also going to visit a little bit about that. Again, we'll have the experience at the Capitol, and then we'll learn about the North Dakota legislative system, how bills are passed, who represents your district, and how the system works. We'll have a meet and greet on Monday the 16th from noon until 1. So we'll invite our legislators down to visit with us in the main Great Hall of the Capitol. And really, it's jam-packed full of a lot of great events and information. If you're interested, registration is online at 4honline.com, or you can contact your local county extension office or give us a call at the Morton County office, and I can direct you to where to register. And a lot of times for events like this, there's scholarships available through your county. I know there is through Morton County to attend. The event is, I believe, $65. I'm looking. I missed that when I read it the first time, so my apologies. $65 registration fee, which includes a free shirt, materials for the event, lodging, and all your meals. And, of course, then the opportunity to do some learning and networking with other youth from across the state, which is always fun, too. So, because a lot of times those 4-Hers that you meet from across the state at different events like that, they become lifelong friends. Just really great
They're
opportunity.
the same kids you run into when you go to college.
Yes. Or when I'm with Vanessa, she runs into a lot of people that she was in 4-H with when she was in 4-H. Or 4-H ambassadors. We talk about them a lot,
yeah,
too.
you just never know.
So the last thing I have to visit with everyone about is I'm working with the North Dakota State Fair Foundation. And I'm mentioning it today because of our audience with past 4-H members and current 4-H members, and of course FFA, or if you visited the state fair, we're looking for recipes. We're putting together a 50th anniversary cookbook of the North Dakota State Fair. In 2015, the North Dakota State Fair will turn 50 officially. And we are putting together, again, this cookbook, and we're hoping to get over 800 recipes. That's our goal. Currently, we don't have that many.
Well, you just started.
We just started. Yeah, we just started a couple of weeks ago at the State Fair annual meeting. But we're looking for blue ribbon recipes. And if you have a family tradition, a dish maybe that you passed, if you have something that you'd like to share, maybe it's related to North Dakota agriculture, bread recipe, a wine recipe, anything like that. We're looking for those recipes. And if you want to you can email your recipes to ndsfcookbook@gmail.com, or you can send them to my sister, but I'm not going to say her address over the, but you can contact our office, 667-3340. My sister and I are actually working on this with the North Dakota State Fair Foundation and are very excited for this cookbook to come out. So,
well, it would be fun if you have even a grand champion recipe or something that you got a special award at the state fair with. And should they note that on the recipe if they did?
Yes, absolutely. We're looking for your name, your phone number, email address, and the relationship that you have with the North Dakota State Fair. Perhaps you're a vendor, a previous board member for the fair, a 4-H member, FFA, or an exhibitor in the open class area. And if it was a blue ribbon or grand champion recipe or reserve ribbon, or you were proud of that red ribbon that you got, those are the kind of things we're looking for. And we want you to note that in your recipe so we can include that. And the grand champion recipes are going to have a little ribbon beside them. And so if you note that it was a grand champion recipient at the state fair, then we'll make sure that you get credit for that as well. So, but
you could even be a 50-year rider of the Ferris wheel.
Oh yeah,
right?
There you go. Absolutely. Yeah, if you came in and you just took in all the events and joined in on all the fun of the North Dakota State Fair, it's something that we're really proud of. I know in 4-H and in the state, a place that we can highlight North Dakota agriculture and North Dakota youth. And it's just, if you want to participate and have your name in a 50th anniversary cookbook, this is the way to do it. So, but I have additional information I can certainly send to you if you want to call us at the office, and I can send you the link to how to get on typeandsave.com. You can actually enter the recipe yourself. And it should be pretty exciting. And we're looking to have the cookbooks out the beginning of May.
Oh, so, awesome. So in time.
Yeah, it'll be all in time for the North Dakota State Fair. So I think we're getting close to a break. Yes, Jim? And so he just cued us for a break, and we'll be back in a little bit here with Vanessa.
Right now it's 16 degrees.
Your news leader, Weeknights at 6 and 10. Super Talk 1270.
And we're back with the Extension Connection. This is Vanessa Hoynes, Extension Agent in Morton County, working with the Family and Consumer Science area. And I have a program that's going to be coming up after the first of the year that I'm really excited about. It's called Stepping On. And the audience is anybody who is 60 or older. And it's for somebody who is looking to make sure that they maintain their independence and can move around without that fear of falling. And I think we all have had those instances where we've fallen, especially now when we have those icy, bumpy parking lots and sidewalks and everything out there. But this is an opportunity for folks to become a little bit more confident on their feet and help to reduce falls. And I think we can all think of people who, after a fall, that was the point in time when their health began to deteriorate and their confidence began to deteriorate. And so this is an opportunity to kind of squelch that and hopefully give people some skills so that they don't fall previous to having that happen. I did just finish a series of these classes earlier this fall, and had remarkable results with folks who were a part of it. One piece of it is some exercises that we're encouraging folks to do. And before you're grown, they're not really hard. They're just focusing on balance and strength in your legs specifically. And we also give you a lot of good tips in being able to get up and out of a chair, how to sit down properly so that you don't have that fear of falling. We also have you practice even if you have fallen, how do you get up without re-injuring yourself? Or when are some times when you just plain need to wait and ask for somebody to help you or call for help? And so it covers a lot of different things. We also give you many tips on planning those trips when you're going to be leaving your home. How do you plan ahead to make sure that you are creating an environment that you won't fall in? And we do some checks with your home, giving you some ideas and checklists to take home and kind of survey your house in your apartment to make sure that you are kind of fall free, that you don't have any things that are out there that could trip somebody up or could cause somebody to fall. And so these classes, it's a 7-week class, so we're going to be starting them the first Tuesday in February, and it'll be every Tuesday for 7 weeks from 1 to 3 p.m. And so if you're interested in this class, there is a fee of $20, and that really covers the exercise weight that you'll receive, along with some materials and healthy snacks each time you come. It's a fun group. It's not a large size group. We like to limit it to around 15 individuals, and so it's an opportunity to get together with some folks and have some fun learning just how to keep from having those falls and being confident.
And Vanessa, I didn't catch, where is it going to be held at?
We're going to be holding it at Edgewood Vista in Mandan. And so, but it's open to everybody. They're just offering to be our host. And so we're taking them up on that offer because it's a beautiful facility and it's a great opportunity to check that out too while you're there. So if you're interested in registering, just give us a call at the office at 667-3340. And we will also try and have the flyer up on our website so you can take a look at it there too if you're interested. And remember, that's Tuesdays starting in February. So we have some time to sign up, but remember that there is a limit to the number of people we're taking in. So I kind of think this might fill up fast.
Yeah. And with the holidays too, there's so many other things you might be thinking about. So, maybe it's something you should take time to sign up now so you don't forget.
That's right. And I think if you have somebody in mind that you think, gosh, they're not as sure on their feet as they used to be, this might be the program that's just for them. And we have a lot of fun. Good. Along the way too. And I should mention, we also talk a lot about, besides the physical things, we also talk about things that can cause us to have imbalance. Things like sometimes our medications and other things like that can cause us to be more apt to have a fall, and give you some ideas about how to visit with your physician about that, and if there are other changes that can happen in your medications to make you a little bit more sure on your feet.
I think that's a class I might have to talk my dad into taking.
Yeah.
Be really good
yeah.
for him. He just turned 70 and he has a cane. And of course, he's had a few health problems here recently, as you know, and be very good for him to learn a little bit more about how important balance is and being able to. Yeah.
And, that's exactly what that's a few other things. I mean, it's 7 weeks long, so I can't tell you everything we talk about.
No.
But when you mention the cane, we do practice using the cane because that is something where it's so much better to have practiced and to know how to use a cane before you have to.
Right.
And learning some of those techniques. So we practice using a cane just walking across a regular floor. We practice using a cane going up and down steps or going up and down a curb, because those are the places where we can get caught up. Even some of the special equipment that we can use when it is icy out like this. Using those track kind of things on your shoes. They also have special cleats that you can add to a cane so that you can actually get your cane into the ice rather than having it slide away from you. And there's so many things out there that can help somebody. And sometimes it just takes having the right tool to make sure that you are more safe and confident. So with that, we're going to shift over now to holidays and spending and money. And, isn't it too bad that the first thing somebody thinks of maybe when you mention the holidays is money and budgeting? And, hopefully it's kind of a good and bad thing, because it's probably a good thing if you are thinking about money, because maybe that means you'll do some planning ahead. And we do have a great publication. It's called My Holiday Spending Plan. And it's just kind of an open grid of all the different kinds of things that we probably take some of our money away during the holiday season. Things like gifts, obviously, but then also if you have postage and shipping, you have to consider gift wrapping, travel, if you have to drive somewhere or if you're flying somewhere, to consider that in all of the costs that you have. Entertainment, if you're going to be having parties at your house or if you're going to be adding to somebody else's party. Perhaps you're a big holiday baker. That takes some additional funds. And, as costs go up every year, those kinds of things increase in cost also. Decorating, do you need a new Christmas tree? Did you buy one? Being able to kind of put all those things into this plan can help give you a better picture about the money that you are planning to spend during the holidays. And sometimes that can help you maybe curb some of those spending pieces too. The other piece I like about this is that it is very easy to use, and it's something that you could easily share with a young person. I have a college student and a high school student, and I've shared this with both of them because of course, they have friends that they want to buy gifts for. They have family members they want to buy gifts for. And especially my college student is very interested in doing that. But having her write this down and say, how much am I going to spend on a gift? And then being able to add it up and say, gosh, I don't know that I have that amount. So then I have to go back and plan again and really decide, what is it that I want to give them, or what is the message I want to send. And so sometimes those gifts don't need to be something that you spend a lot of money on. Sometimes a thoughtful gift, especially for those young folks, or if you're trying to curb your spending during the holidays, it's a good idea to think of things that come maybe more from the heart or come from things that you have personally put together rather than just things that you have purchased. And so we do have several ideas in our extension web publications. We have sometimes it's fun to give those beverage mixes in a jar. We have a handout that talks about those that give you some different ideas for a double chocolate peppermint cocoa mix that you could share, or a spiced tea mix that you could share in a jar or in a pretty container. French vanilla coffee mix, or also a mint candy coffee mix. And so those would be things that would be less expensive to mix up, put in something and share a friendly note or a Merry Christmas note with that. And then also along with those kinds of things, sharing some of the skills you have. Maybe you can help by babysitting for a few hours, or maybe you'll offer to
Gift wrap.
shovel their walk.
Yeah.
Or
Gift wrap.
yes, gift wrapping, help them gift wrap some of their gifts. There's lots of things of skills that you might have that you could do to help them, and many times those are more appreciated than something that you could purchase. Another publication is all about different food mixes in a jar, and I think these were popular a few years ago too. But this particular publication has a chili mix on it, a cornbread mix, cranberry oatmeal cookie mix, and also a soup mix, a friendship soup mix. And those are also fun. They can be a nice way to remember some of those service individuals that you might deal with and work with, whether it's the postman or if it's somebody who does your hair.
My landlord.
There you go.
Yeah.
People that you want to remember in some way, but you don't really have the funds to be able to buy something big. But this is a great way to remember them and something that you've taken some time to put together for them.
And you can fancy up the jar with ribbon and make it,
Yes.
uniquely your own. It's just, it's really neat that way.
And I think a lot of those folks are just so very happy when they are remembered for the service that they bring to you and the help that they bring. And offering to do snow shoveling for somebody too would be a great thing to do. Or even if you offering a coupon for free cooking or baking, to bake somebody some recipes that are their favorites, but they aren't able to do that anymore. Or even learning with them how to make a family favorite. Maybe at our house it might be lefse, sitting down and learning how to make lefse with a grandparent, or learning how to make kuchen with somebody in your family. Can be something that can be a fun thing, a fun activity to do along with that. I know we're getting close to shutting down here, but I have one quick thing to share too. College Save is something that you should be thinking about for putting money away for your children's college, and it can be your children or it could be grandchildren also. And just one little tip as we're getting close to the end of the year is that if you put money into a college education account like College Save here in North Dakota, that is something that you can, as a North Dakota taxpayer, you can deduct that from your income tax. And so that is another way to give money, but then also be able to save money in the end. And I'm sure when we come back in 2 weeks, we'll be talking about other tips, and we will hear you or talk to you again in 2 weeks with the Extension Connection.
ABC News, Super Talk 1270. Accurate news, stimulating talk. This is KLXX AM, Mandan, Bismarck.